Rolling Stone magazine lists it as one of the 100 greatest albums ever. Pink Floyd's The Wall, first released some 32 years ago. Most fans will know that Pink Floyd had the old acrimonious split back in the 80s after the band's principal writer, Roger Waters, he left. But its music lives on, of course, and now Waters is set to bring his new 21st century concert version of The Wall to this country after massive success with it all over the planet. Paul Hobbs caught up with Waters on the European leg of his tour.
It kicks off just like it did on vinyl 30-odd years ago. And if you think the now 67-year-old Roger Waters must be past it, forget it, he isn't. When Waters wrote The Wall, he was an angry rock star who had almost come to despise his own fans.
If you wanna find out what's behind these cold eyes, you just have to claw your way through this disguise.
But that's all changed.
To feel their response, and it feels really genuine to me. I'm no longer picky about whether they stand or sit or clap or shout or scream or whatever it is that they do. I'm actually really enjoying the fact that they get it.
Because they love you. They love you.
Well, and I love them. It's good. It's a bit of a love fest.
The kids change from city to city, still note for note, word for word. The 21st century Wall matches the original album version. The feelings of abandonment, isolation, self-destruction. But Waters has taken those themes and given them a global spin.
It occurred to me that the microcosm that was that frightened young man walling himself in, behind his fear, could be expanded to express a common condition that's going on internationally and between the haves and the have-nots.
You see, Waters has never been afraid of a fight, just ask his one-time Pink Floyd band members. So taking on political convention is nothing.
We, the rich nation, spend huge percentages of our GMP on killing little brown people somewhere else. Because we're in that mindset. The very, very few, very, 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 very rich people in the world who control all this shit make fortunes out of it. And that's why it continues. If there was no profit in war, it would be over tomorrow.
Good evening, London. Welcome!
It's been nearly 30 years since Waters performed The Wall in front of a London crowd. And that was, of course, as part of Pink Floyd.
I shall endeavour to sing a double-track vocal and play the acoustic guitar along with that poor, miserable, f***ed-up little Roger from all those years ago.
It's hard to know now just how Waters feels about the band's acrimonious split. In 1985, Waters walked out on the remaining two members of the band, Dave Gilmour and Nick Mason.
Mother, do you think they'll drop the bomb?
Wonderful as Pink Floyd was, after Dark Side of the Moon, it was really not the same. We all had different ideas and different things, and we sort of clung together under the umbrella of the success of the name. Probably longer than we should have, and I think that made me a bit grumpy.
Mother, do you think they'll like this song?
Fans would love them to reform. 6 years ago, they briefly came together in an attempt to make poverty history, raising hopes for something more permanent. And Waters had this to say about it to Close Up 4 years ago.
And who knows, the four of us might get back together and do something. We did Live 8, which I thought was great.
David Gilmour! Mr. Nick Mason!
Just weeks ago, Gilmour and Mason joined Waters on stage during the Wall tour in London. But Waters seems to be tiring of the continuing speculation of a reunion.
Is it just a waste of time?
Of course we're not. What's wrong with it? People are just dopey. That opportunity existed for years and years and years and years and years, and it never happened. It's not going to happen now.
Is there anybody out there?
Roger Waters is just happy doing his own thing. and that's proving highly lucrative and successful, with the visually spectacular Wall Live tour clocking up more than 100 gigs so far across the US and Europe. It's pipped Lady Gaga picking up the most creative stage production and major Tour of the Year awards at the recent Polestar Awards.
You've got sackfuls of cash. What motivates you?
Well, certainly not getting more sackfuls of cash. The fact that every night I'm working with 11 other guys and we're a happy band of brothers. It's like a big family. It's actually very enjoyable.
And Waters' work is never done, with a DVD of the concert in the pipeline.
I'm so full of adrenaline when I come off stage. I have a couple of drinks and then normally I go back to my hotel room and I plug in a hard drive and I have a pad and I watch it and I make notes.
Are you a perfectionist?
Of course I am. Yeah, I will be still working on the show when we finish, this tour, for sure.
Good news for Kiwi fans when the show comes down under, but perhaps bad news for our freshwater fish.
Well, there's no question I'll catch something if we get on a stream somewhere, yeah. You just tell that Lindsay to get those fly rods ready. That's all. I can't remember his second name. He's a great guide.
Old Lindsay, Paul Hobbs with Roger Waters. In London, by the way, Waters is due in this country to perform the Wall live at Auckland's Vector Arena February next year, if you want to note that down. Tickets go on sale July 11, which is just a couple of weeks today.